Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We got to have the same faith that they had when they were put into that fiery furnace. They knew that death is in there and we're going in there to death. And we're not going to say, okay, Lord, we're ready to come see you anyway. That's the way we do it. I go in the fire because I'm ready to die anyway. Come on, Lord. That will be cover God in case he don't show up. He won't look bad. We was ready to die. That's why he didn't come, because we wanted to go to him and everything. So that's what it was. That's why he didn't show up. God don't need us to cover him. He cover us. We got to have the same faith they had when they went in and say, he gonna come get us. And even if he don't come get us, it's because this is what's supposed to be that way. It doesn't matter. We're not gonna stop believing that he's not gonna come though. We're just putting the clause on so that you know that we didn't get in here and stop believing. If he don't show, we still believe.
Yes.
When you bury us, we still believe. It doesn't matter. That's what they needed and they didn't have. So when he came, they were astonished when Peter actually showed up. They probably realized, I never knew prayer would do this. I never knew that God was able. Wow. How did you do? More than likely, a lot of them probably wanted to send him back, but they probably thought he broke out of prison. You done pulled out that knife you love to have. You done pulled out that knife and cut your way out of prison. And you come in here knowing they're going to come here looking for you.
You got to go.
No. And you saw all of us dying. Just for that. Never did they consider that God has done this. They were astonished by it. I love to be astonished by God that way. Because it shows you that he's more capable than your biggest thoughts. Whatever you could imagine him to do, stop. I'm telling you that right now. If there's something you want to do in life and you're imagining what he can do, Lord, can you do this for me? Just stop and say, go ahead and do it. If you begin to tell him, it's good to be precise and tell him exactly what you want, but don't put him in a box. We're going to look at one more situation, then we're going to move on to character. John 11. What's in John 11? Anybody tell me what's in John 11?
What is it,
Lazarus. See, that's how you know when you got caught talking, because she's trying to over-speak. Now, I asked her one question. She want to answer all the questions. Like, I've been listening. I just saw you talking. The next few Sunday, and I love to preach 4 Sundays, but one of these few Sundays, we're going to let one of y'all preach. Amen. Let y'all come out here and get it. You're going to preach on benefits? Benefits. John 11. We're going to look at, Jesus had the same issue. It's one thing for them to have it in Acts dealing with Peter after Christ was crucified and resurrected, and that brought a lot of faith. But it even happened while Jesus was here in the midst of him performing miracles in his ministry. And it didn't happen with those that were new believers or were unbelievers. It happened with the foundation. The people that were there from the beginning showed the same lack of ability to be totally given over in faith. They lacked it. Everybody there in John 11? I'm going to try to speed through this a little bit faster so we don't be here till 3 o'clock. It says,
Amen.
I said 3 o'clock. 2:45 is okay. I want to get to 3. All right. Come on, look at the word. It's going to hurt you. It's going to make you stronger. John 11. Here we go. It says, now a certain man was sick named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and his sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. This is what I'm trying to tell you. These are people who were intricate in his ministry. These ain't people that was just on the way getting healed, on the way eating fish and bread. These are people that were intricate in these miracles, that saw these things take place. That's why they gave you this reference right here to show you that, okay, this is the Mary we're talking about, so that you understand the severity of what we're getting ready to tell you in this event. It says, therefore, in verse 3, therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, whom thou lovest is sick. We all do that. We go to God and we tell him our situation. All the way from the earlier church when they had the prayer box and you come put the name of the person in that's sick.
Yes.
You might need to know that back.
Yeah.
They had the prayer box there. It's because we know that if we can get to God and let him know the situation on their behalf, he will heal them. It's called intercession. Yeah. That's what the faith is all about.
That's right.
If we can just get to God and let him know, look, the one that you love, the one that you know very well, he is sick. He said, when Jesus heard that, verse 4, he said, the sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. He told them then, the sickness is not unto death. In other words, what he's saying to him is, he's not going to die because of it. Now, he's dead, but it's not going to be an ending death. It's only for me to be able to go so God can be glorified. That was the purpose of the Lazarus situation. It's not because Lazarus got weak. Lazarus fell and didn't know how to pray himself out of sickness. A lot of people believe that if you're sick, it's something you're doing wrong. Let me skip this just a minute. You remember the story about the boy that was born blind? And they asked him, which of his parents sinned? What happened? Did he do it in the womb or did his parents do it? And Jesus had to tell him, none of them sinned. It's so that the word God can be glorified in this. But think about the life of those two parents coming up with that boy. Think about how many doctors they took him to. Think about how many times they prayed to God and said, Lord, give him sight. How many times they wanted God to heal him right now. But he couldn't because there was a purpose time for him to be healed. What I'm trying to say is a lot of times when you're sick, it ain't because you earned it or deserved it or did something negligently. Sometimes God just needs to let somebody else see you get healed. Somebody else to witness you going through. That's the reason why. It ain't that you praying for him to take it away and he won't. It ain't that he's not possible of taking it away. It's not that he can't heal you right now. But he won't be glorified if he heal you right now in your bedroom or in your doctor's office when you want to be healed. He's not glorified by that. He needs some people to witness this thing. He needs you to be establishedly sick. That's my made up word for today. Establishedly sick. He needs you to be established. He needs you to have evidence that you are sick. This ain't something where they thought he had it. No, he was diagnosed with this and he had it. And he had it for X amount of years. It didn't go away overnight. All because God needs you to be established in it so he can be glorified from it. So every sickness you have is not always because you've done something negligently. Or your lifestyle has been bad. Or your health is bad. Sometimes God is just saying, you're strong enough to go through this. You're strong enough for me to use you right now. So I'm going to need you to suffer through this just for a little while. Because when I bring you through, 20 other people are going to come through too. That's the whole purpose. They're all coming through. So Jesus was telling them, look, the sickness is not unto death. He ain't get the H1N1 that he's going to die. He ain't got Ebola that he's going to die. All of this took place because God needed to be glorified amongst more people. And this is just what I need to do to get the gathering and get the party together. Go ahead. That's what it is. All the people going to come. We're going to do it. And he's going to acknowledge it. You notice we get down to it. He did that. He said, Father, I thank you first. He did this not because God didn't know it, but the people needed to see that I need to give this power to you. I need to give this accomplishment to you. So anyway, that's what was happening with Lazarus. So he told her the sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Now verse 5. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Remember, these are intricate people in the ministry, close people. In other words, they're not lay members. I hate that term. Well, they're not lay members. The lay member in the church is the strongest person in the church, to be honest with you. But these are people that are right there every day that know of him and what he's capable of doing. It said, when he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Does everybody know? Does the youth know why he stayed 2 more days? Rain? All right. No. Why did he wait 2 more days? Glad I can tell you. It was in their tradition to believe that within 3 days, some say 4, within 3 days, that the spirit is still in the body, has not left the body yet. So officially they could have said Lazarus wasn't really dead. He brought him back from being unconscious or being whatever. It could be doubt there. He wanted to stay until all doubt was dead. That's what he was waiting on. They thought he was procrastinating. He wasn't. He was preparing. Go ahead. There's a difference. So it said he stayed there in the same place where he was 2 days. Then after that, he said to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. Now we're looking at the disciples' faith. We're going to look at faith from the disciples. We're going to look at faith from the people. Both. Right now we're going to look at it from the disciples. The first thing they're thinking right now is you want to go back into Judea for Lazarus, who they just said is dead. At this time, they were trying to kill Christ and every disciple he had. That's the reason why they were not there. That's why they left. It was not time for him to be crucified. Therefore, he had to dodge that bullet once again.